Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, Smash Heavy Strong Style Cinephile on WandaVision episode 3, where we start to see that there's stuff going on in this town. We actually start to get a clue about what's really going on. So let's geek about it for a scant few minutes. Now, in this episode, we fast forwarded to, I guess, the 70s. We're in color. We've got a different sitcom intro. And we've got an episode where they are dealing with Wanda being pregnant. Now, of course, you gotta wonder what's going on because Vision is a robot, Wanda's not. There's baby. But there's that going on, and then there's some, of course, typical like sitcom-y sort of hijinks where they're adjusting to life with this pregnancy. They are preparing to, Vision is practicing changing the baby. He's reading books, and they're putting up decorations in the baby's room. They're kind of debating baby names, Tommy, Billy, and next thing you know, she goes into labor, which kind of throws her powers just out of whack, and which affects the town at large. And I think early on in the episode, Vision kind of notices that there's something going on with the neighbors, because he's taking a hedge clipper and he's taking it to like this concrete little barrier separating the yards, and he's gone from the bushes to the barrier. He's cutting into that, and Vision kind of points it out to him, and he's like, oh, so I did. And he still keeps going, so Vision kind of sees that there's something off, and he starts to go in and tell Wanda about it. Next thing you know, the scene, if you will, gets reset, and the conversation goes totally different. And people on message boards that I saw that I glanced at for recording this were kind of speculating, was it an exterior force that caused the reset, or was it Wanda herself? Majority of us think it was Wanda herself because, again, she reset things in the previous episode with the beekeeper when she saw him. So we assume that Wanda has some semblance of control over this environment because she's the Scarlet Witch. She has reality-altering powers. We know this, of course, as I said in the previous video, the MCU has not exactly explored the extent of her powers. In the comics, we've had years and years of comic book stories kind of exploring that, showing how powerful she is. She literally ended mutants in Marvel Comics for a while just by wanting to do it. So she has huge powers with huge possible implications, and I think this series is a way for them to kind of peel back those layers and kind of explore that power set to be able to flex it in the future with future MCU movies and TV projects, and just things where they can just take her powers and they can really just turn the universe on its ear when they want to do like a hard reset or a Flashpoint-ish type of outcome. They can do it with the Scarlet Witch, and I think this series is helping them kind of put her in a position so they can flip that switch whenever they want to, even if I don't know if they have planned to do it, or it might be something where they just want to have it, in their back pocket, where stuff's going a certain way, maybe stuff gets stale, and they kind of want to shake things up. Oh, break out the Scarlet Witch, have her just like, boom, and just change everything. So, remains to be seen if they go that way. But we see through Vision again, he's kind of conferring with the neighbors and kind of feels that there's something off with them, with how they're looking at him and talking about Wanda. And the guy tries to explain something, and then the other woman like cuts him off because she's just worried about him saying too much, or I guess maybe worrying about Wanda catching wind of them. It's almost like that episode of Justice League Unlimited where Hawk Girl, Green Lantern, and Flash were knocked into this world, alternate world that this kid with super mental powers had created. And when they talked to the other townspeople, they were just uneasy whenever the Leaguers tried to talk to them, because they didn't want, to be heard, or didn't want the big omnipresent like person to hear them, and kind of what would happen to them. Probably in that situation, town members disappeared. They kind of made waves. In this situation, Geraldine kind of makes a comment about Pietro getting killed by Ultron, because Wanda at one point, when she's looking over the twins that she has, says she used to have a brother. His name was Pietro, and the woman comments that her brother was killed by Ultron. Then Wanda's like, what did you say? And then she's like, I didn't say anything, and she's got a sword necklace on. So I'm wondering if she has something to do with SWORD, the actual organization. Again, is this going to be a way for them to bring in SWORD, which is more of a kind of an extraterrestrial type of organization within Marvel Comics, but are they working to bring in Sword? And then why would Sword have something to do with Wanda? Next thing you know, Vision comes back in, and Geraldine is gone. She had to go home, but of course we just found out previously from the neighbors that Geraldine has no home. And then we see at the end of the episode, Geraldine get forcefully thrown out of something. And then we see military planes and just a base camp sort of set up, I guess, out on the outskirts of this town. So there seems to be an actual town. It's just Wanda has created this, has altered the world inside the town. She set up this force field, this reality, force field, and some people are speculating that once you go in, you kind of forget who you are. And then she started, for whatever reason, what Wanda said started triggering her memories of who she was and events outside of this world. And then Wanda saw that as a threat to unravel whatever she has created, and then kicked her out. So now she's going to get recovered by the military, and we'll see what happens next. But it seems that Wanda is going to be she's going to be the, if they do it right, she should be the bad guy of this series. Not truly, mustache twirling, wants to conquer the world, that type of bad guy, but she's, through her actions where she's trying to create this idyllic world for herself and for Vision, who was killed, she just wants what she lost. So she uses her powers to create what she lost. She just seems to be affecting other people, and there seems to be other consequences to her doing what she's doing, which will come to bear. I'm wondering if maybe Vision is going to be set against Wanda towards the end. Is Vision going to need to be sacrificed? Is he just going to die again once everything gets settled? How does this play out the rest of this season of WandaVision, and how does that feed into Doctor Strange, which we know WandaVision feeds into Doctor Strange and the multiverse madness, or whatever the title for the movie is, but it feeds into that. So it's kind of, where is this going? Remains to be seen. But it was another fun episode. I like how they mix in there's the corny sitcom tropes with what's going on, and just continuing to feed the mystery of what's going on, and just kind of, there's so many ideas. I mean, some people on the boards are speculating like Mephisto and other sort of supernatural, magical villains that they thought could be a part of this. Somebody even said Shima Gorath. I think it's just truly just Wanda created this world to just be happy and just and be peaceful, and it's having consequences that she just didn't think of. It's just affecting so many other people. So remains to be seen how it all plays out, but it's a good mystery. It gives us enough crumbs to kind of keep us interested in further episodes. The slow burn of just the one episode per week, even though a lot of us are just used to that. Just give it up to us all now. We can binge it in 8, 9, 10, 13 hours, whatever. But I like this, the slower pace, lets you really just stew on what's happened for a while. So what happens next remains to be seen. What do you guys out there think? Let me know. Comments below. Follow me. Social media at SebastianNND on Twitter, on Instagram. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. Till next time, let us geek.